Emmalee Phillips, and this is my screen recording for Milestone 1. So, I've already SSH'd into both the Docker system and the Nginx system. We know that this one is the Docker system because we assigned a static IP of 10.10.229.11 to it, and then we also know that this one is the Nginx system because it's the 10.10.229.10. So I've pulled up the Milestone 1 just so that I make sure I hit all of the points. So for the Docker processes, I can show you for Docker PS that the Ghost container was created so that we know that it is up and running. If I wanted to stop this container, I would use Docker stop, and then I could copy and paste this container ID, or I could use this name that we created for it. And then if I wanted to remove it after stopping it, I could use Docker RM, and then again copying, pasting, or putting Ghost and getting rid of that. And then for the Nginx processes, when installing it, I simply did an yum install Nginx, and then to create where everything would creating that reverse proxy command, I went into nano etc nginx.config, and then if you go down a little bit, see location. So then this is the location for /blog. So it will proxy through 10.10.229.11, which is the Docker with Ghost installed to it. And then after doing that, I exited out and I was able to access Ghost. And you can tell that it's 10.10.229.10 and the /blog. And then if I want to see the Nginx log to see any accessing or errors, I would go to cd /var/nginx log/nginx, and then to see what files are available, ls. So you have the access log and the error log. So I'm going to tail the access log. And here, if you scroll up a little bit, you can see that a get command was performed to access the blog, and it was accessing http /10.10.229.10/blog, and it was performed successfully. You can see that I had accessed it a number of other times during the setup. There was a code of a 200, which means that everything was okay when trying to receive the information. And then how is that traffic handled by Nginx and the Ghost container? So what will happen is you will type in that URL, it'll perform a get command. It will go out to the proxy server. If it has the information that you're looking for, it will send it back. If not, it will go onto the web server, which would be our Docker or our Ghost container on Docker, and it will send any information that it didn't already have cached in that proxy server. One problem that I encountered, so I was having a lot of connectivity issues. For whatever reason, I couldn't get my custom network to work so that the proxy server was able to reach Docker to send any information back. It ended through a lot of troubleshooting. I tried to fix it with my initial installs, but I was getting back error codes I believe it was 502, saying that it was a DNS issue. Um, Honestly, I wasn't sure how to fix that on a command line or how to configure a DNS from the command line. I know how to do it from an initial setup. So I went in, I reinstalled, I made sure everything at setup for the static IP and the static information was put in, the correct gateway, the correct DNS. And once I did that, there were still some connectivity issues. And I did a little more digging and I was able to find out that if you actually go in, there sometimes there's a glitch in the install of the in Nginx. There's sometimes a glitch in Nginx. So if you go into that configuration file, right, let me see if I can find it. Right here, when it pulls the file for the server to listen, right here is supposed to have a pound sign in front of it. And when I went back and checked, it didn't. And for me, it resolved the issue. I don't know if there was another way to resolve the issue, but for me, it did work. And one thing I learned, I definitely learned how to troubleshoot these systems and finding reliable sources online. I learned a lot about reverse proxy servers and how the communication between a proxy server and the client works. And then if information isn't cached in a proxy server, that it would go back out to the web server. So kind of, I guess, more so I learned exactly how a reverse proxy server works. But that's all that I have. Thank you so much.